what I've learned from doing these transformations of blooms into more is that do your outlines as thinly as possible to paint away what you wish to paint away, because once the paint is dry, it's hard to remove. The moment it's still easy with a wet wipe, because I did varnish this painting and it's quite a smooth and slippery surface, and I'm using acrylic paint, so I can use a wet wipe to wipe away what I don't want. And like I said, I want to keep as much as possible. So I want this to be quite a tall tree and to be going up, so quite a wide tree, so I can keep. Well, it's difficult to envision without, I don't have a painter at the photo or anything, and the tree can't be too thick because it's going up into the sky, but it's a very small canvas, so it's got to be proportional. So we'll make it somewhere here. And then one branch coming off. I'm just using a mixture of white and and I won't be able to paint every leaf because obviously the leaves are going to be very small in proportion to the tree, and the branches are going up into the sky. But what I'll do is I'll paint sort of clumps of leaves and then maybe subdivide them. It's a little strip of colour I can use to reveal them. Where I can, I'll use the Dutch paw markings where I turned it into a bloom. So here's one, and here's another, and here's another. And here's another. This could be another small tree here. Or it can be a branch hanging down. So, for those who are new to my channel, thank you for joining, and I hope you're going to enjoy it and learn that there are so many different things one can do with Dutch paw, that one doesn't have to be stuck onto seeing them as something abstract. They can in fact be so much more. So now the decision will be later on whether to keep the trunk in the colour of the paw, which would be a little bit difficult to then distinguish it from the leaves, or whether to change the colour of it, or just to paint away the outer part, say in a dark mauve, to draw it in and then leave some of the colours behind in the centre. So for now I'm going to just start by painting the sky in, so I can get some perspective. So I'm still trying to figure out how to paint the leaves. Since I can't paint each individual leaf, the colour's already there. I need to paint around the colours, but again, I don't want to paint them too small, because then that's going to be a lot of blue sky in between the leaves, and that's not normally how you see leaves. You normally see bunches of leaves with little bits of sky peeping out here and there. So maybe once I've got the sky in, it will help me get some perspective. And the sky might stay this colour, or it might change, I'm not sure. I'm starting off with acrylic, and often I do these transformations in oil, but this one is, there's so much acrylic that I don't want to lose, then I think I'll just do it all in acrylic. I don't think I'll be transforming to oil. Well, I've decided to just, I've completed the sky, and I'm going to just add in a lot of some branches in blue, and they might not, well, they won't stay blue. I tried painting in outlines of leaves, and that was going to be too messy. So I'll try this way, and then see what happens when I come in with a darker colour and change this blue. As you will have seen from my previous paintings, if you've watched them, each painting lends itself to something different depending on the composition of your original painting, as well as what you're trying to make out of it. So there's no one size fits all. I can't say this is a magic formula, I'm going to do this every time, or that I would even want to, because I don't like to do things in a rigid, predetermined way. Each painting needs to flow from its own construction. And also each painting is open. It's just, they're open to different possibilities. I mean, this could also have made of lovely field of flowers, but I've done those. I'm trying to do something different each time, so as to show the many possibilities that there are, and not to be limited. I really think that there shouldn't be any limitations. Just as normally when you would do a background, you're not limited to do the background the same way every time. And now we have a background that can either form a part of the painting or just form a part of the background, and that's the beauty of it. There's so much possibility. Or it can be both, but I found that generally it's not that easy to have it forming part of both the subject and the background, as you then can barely distinguish between the two. So I've got to make the most of it for one or the other. After painting in the outlines of the trees and the stalks of the leaves, I realized that the sky was just too pale, and I made it a darker blue. And now I'm going to get some deep purple. I'll see if that will be adequate, and then just do the inner parts of the tree trunk, and go over the branches with the deep purple, and then that will allow me to use the blue to sort of paint around where I want the leaves to be, where I can, and where I can't, I might come back with a different colour, but I'll see how it goes. Well, the purple I made wasn't really showing up. It was translucent and still showing up most of the pattern underneath, and just too close in colour to the other colours. So I decided to use brown, and I think it's having a better effect. And I've also made some of the tree branches a bit thicker, so unfortunately I will lose more of the background colour, but at least what I keep will keep. if you have good eyes, you can probably see, depending on the type of trees, you can see the lower leaves. As they grow higher up, you see less and less leaves and more clumps of just green, some with the light shining on them,